What's up, guys? It's Chad here with G-Reviews, coming to you from my driveway today. As you guys know, this is my 2020 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Alright, just clocked over 6,000 miles. I just did a quick MPG loop. Long story short, to where I live in near Raleigh, North Carolina. Hadn't gotten any snow up until this point, and I was on a search for some snow for my girls. So we took a trip over to the mountains, and we were there for a good long weekend, and then we came back, and I recorded all my MPG for that trip. So here we go. Just to start out, I'm going to do a few specs on the truck. Alright, the absolute curb weight of the starting Power Wagon is 7,055 pounds. Okay, that's the baseline with no options. If you add things like the Ram boxes, that's around a 250 pound option. The 12-inch nav with the large sound system with the subwoofer, that's a lot of extra weight. All the leather's extra weight, you name it, it adds up. Okay, so most people, when they have it fully spec'd with the moonroof, everything, it's around 7,500 to 8,000 pounds. So it's a heavy girl. Okay, under the hood of a Power Wagon, it's the only engine option offered. All right, it's a 6.4 liter Hemi V8 with MDS, and starting the 5th gens or the 2019s, it came with a 8-speed ZF transmission, and all the newest generations all came with 410 rear axle ratios. This motor in a 2500 Ram has been in there since 2014, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, you can leave it in the comments. Okay, so that in conjunction with the flat front and the heavy truck leads for not too great a gas mileage. Alright, so here we go. It is the 21st of January. I'm starting the very beginning of my highway mile per gallon trip in the Power Wagon. I don't know if you can see this or not. I reset everything, but the mileage is 5116. I don't really know if you're picking that up or not. Good. All right, let's start. Here's a quick clip of us driving. I left after work on a Friday. We were just traveling west on the interstate. Traffic was free flowing. Obviously, you can see the beautiful sunset we got going on here. My MPG, per the computer, got up to about 15 MPG. Alright, and then this right here happened. There's my wife on her computer. Came to stop and go, and then it came to a full stop. Here's us at the gas pump. First leg was very disappointing. It's 5380, saying 14.1. I was up to almost 15. But had a stop and go traffic for about 30 minutes, and it dropped it to 14.1. As you can see, I'm putting in 87 octane. I know our 6.4s, it recommends, per the owner's manual, to put in mid-grade. 88 or 89, whatever you're from, is different mid-grades. But it does say that 87 is acceptable. So I've only been running 87 in my truck. There it is, 19.745. Alright, we're going to calculate our first fill-up MPG for my phone calculator. Alright, that first leg of the trip, I was disappointed because, as you saw in the video clip, we literally were stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic on the interstate for about 30 minutes. Alright, my girls were in the back hollering and screaming. They wanted to get out and pee. We were on the interstate. I couldn't even go around on the shoulder. There was 18-wheelers that were literally stuck on both sides of the road because that's how long everybody was sitting. So, all right, on to the calculations. We got 53.80, which is all mileage here, minus the 51.16 from the very first fill up, okay, equals 264 miles we traveled on the first fill up, all right, divided by the gallons we've used, 19.745. All right, the first leg was 13.37, so not too bad, not the worst. Obviously, it could have been better if we hadn't gotten stuck. So on to the second fill up. Second fill up of the trip. The mileage is 57.21. Clock's saying 13.6 average. Obviously the fuel light's on, so I'm pretty low. Let's see what the pump says. $25.906. We're going to calculate out the second fill up of the trip. All right, the second fill up consisted of us pretty much just doing a bunch of driving around, sightseeing. We did idle a good amount. We did go on a trail here and there, put it in four-wheel drive, driving around slowly. Obviously that's not conducive to good gas mileage, but I wasn't too disappointed. All right. Second fill up, we're starting out at 57.21 minus the 53.80. Okay, that's the second fill up. We went 341 miles. Okay, now we're going to divide that by 25.906. All right, the second fill up, we ended up with 13.16 MPG. So, like I said, not too disappointing considering what we did on the second leg. It was some highway, but most of it was just switchbacks up and down the mountains. So a lot of lower gear driving. On to the final leg. The third and final leg of the trip is us pretty much traveling back home. All right, we're trying to get on to 40 East, which is towards Asheville, from where we were in the Highlands. And if you've ever driven this section of road, you know that there's one probably like a 15-mile stretch of nothing but coming down the mountain and going up the mountain. You have to pretty much go over the mountain to get back to, Raleigh area. Here's us coming down the mountain. If anybody's ever traveled this, you know it is steep. In this area, there's some 8, 9, 10% grades. There's a few runaway truck ramps. The Power Wagon itself is actually a great traveling vehicle, other than the MPG. All right, it is comfortable. More comfortable than a lot of other 2500 size trucks that are more, heavily sprung in the rear and the front. This is really the only section, my wife or anybody riding with me gets any complaints, because there are some pretty sharp curves and you are going pretty quick down the mountain. If anybody is not familiar with this area, this is the Smoky Mountains. All right, mountains of Tennessee, North Carolina, etc. Yeah, I know it says 35 miles per hour. That's the right lane for 18-wheelers. All right, the normal speed, I believe, is 55. Beautiful mountain range there. Again, as far as comfort goes and noise, with those stock Wrangler Duratrack tires, you do hear a little bit of road hum, but it's not too bad. And I see that truck over there flashing his lights. Must be a trooper or something up ahead. Alright, let's see what we got. Yep, over there to the right, you do see the runaway truck ramp. It does happen. In the winter conditions, if this road doesn't get plowed or de-iced, it is pretty dangerous. Alright, our final leg of the trip This is the highest I've seen so far, 15.1 average. It says I got 96 miles left range, and the mileage is 6,041. All right, so let's see what the pump says. We're going to reset this all right here. It's 21.8. Final fill up of the trip. I'm just going to calculate it out real quick. We got 6,041 minus 5721. All right, equals 320 miles driven on the last leg. All right, we're going to divide that by the gallons used, 21.840. All right, 14.65. All right, 14.65. I mean, that's like 14.7. I know I could have gotten 15 if I hadn't hit traffic in Raleigh on my way home. All right, now that itself for highway miles per gallon for that truck is actually really good. All right, now I'm gonna do, obviously calculate the average. We're just gonna take the 3 MPGs. Let's see here, 14.65 plus 13.16 plus 13.37 equals 41.18 divided by 3 equals, the average for the trip was 13.72. Okay, like I said, 2 of the legs, the first leg I know I definitely could have probably gotten a whole MPG better average if I hadn't hit that traffic. Okay, so even at what it is now, 13.7, okay, that was up and down mountains. Okay, that was a lot of stop and go and idling. All right, the truck wasn't fully loaded with just gear. It was only for a long weekend, so maybe the half the bed was taken with just random stuff, sleds and whatnot. But guys, I mean, everybody says that's, you know, the Power Wagon with the 6.4 gets terrible gas mileage. It really doesn't get that bad. I know a friend personally that's got a, it's like a 12 Ford F-150 with the 3.5 liter EcoBoost. That thing has, I think, 355 gears, and he put just like 33-inch tires on it. And he's getting the same MPG as that truck is. Okay, and I already have 33s, and it's a 3/4 ton truck. All right. So all in all, like I said, the truck's only up to, you know, 6,000 miles. I mean, it really hasn't, it's hitting the 500 mile break-in period. But if you know anything about Hemis, normally a Hemi will fully break in somewhere around 20,000 miles, and you'll start to pick up an extra MPG or so. All right, so all in all, yes, the truck doesn't get the best MPG, but for what it is, it could be worse. All right, I give that Power Wagon 2 thumbs up as of right now. I love the truck. The only thing I don't love is the MPG, but for its capabilities and what it is, that's actually not that bad. Alright guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the description below. As always, have a great weekend.